touch since we're last on board. Lady Jarrell, the favourite, has firmed a fraction into $3.30. Now Stephen Basta is your jockey. Rusty's Lass is a 33 to 1 chance. Sky Beam was the second scratching. Kadada is at $26 or 25 to 1, the same price as Life is a Cabaret, who's being ridden today by the informed Brett Preble. Washington Babe at $17. Star Jewel, Peter Hutchinson's mount, is at $26. And Tatanique for the former Perth jockey Peter Nucky is the roughie of the field at 80 to 1 or $81. Okay, looks like they've all behaved themselves, gone in quickly. Time for action. Here's Brian Markovic.
Start the lights on. And they're set for start racing. Hospitable bounced out well with Lady Jarrell, and also Star Jewel is showing early speed. Just in behind them came Brattonale, followed by Kadada, Washington Babe. Queen's Rule out very wide. Then Life is a Cabaret inside the 1,000, followed 2 lengths away by Rust Essence, Tatanique, Lady Jarrell, French Resort, and Rusty's Lass is last. Star Jewel in front of the 850. It's Kadada into second, placing a length away. Then Hospitable third on the inside. Going forward, Life is a Cabaret making ground. Brattonale is fifth on the inside. 2 lengths to Washington Babe on the outside of Lady Jarrell, followed by Tatanique. Queen's Rule is out 4 deep down the side, out 5 wide as Rust Essence. French Resort is second last and 2 lengths away Rusty's Lass. Star Jewel around the corner at the 450 over, length and a half in front of Hospitable, followed by Kadada under pressure. Then Brattonale now getting out, followed by Lady Jarrell. 2 lengths away, Life is a Cabaret. Queen's Rule is well back in the race, followed by Tatanique and Washington Babe. At the 250, Star Jewel still over 2 lengths in front. Hospitable trying hard with Brattonale. Then Queen's Rule, followed by Life is a Cabaret. French Resort making ground. Star Jewel in front. Brattonale is trying very hard to pick it up, followed by Hospitable. Star Jewel in front though, and Star Jewel has won by neck to Brattonale. Third or wall of them, Hospitable, Lady Jarrell, and close up French Resort. Then Washington Babe, followed by Life is a Cabaret. Queen's Rule close up on the race, followed by Rusty's Lass, Kadada, Rust Essence, and Tatanique has run last.
Wide World of Sports coming to you from Randwick today on Epsom Day, but we've just had race 7, and we've got number 13 paid $30.20 and $6.50. Number 6 paid $2, and number 2 $2.30. The Victorian dividends there.
Yes, that race 7 at Sandown. The earlier markets had Stony Bay as all the rage in the Craven Plate. Is there anything that can beat him, Kenny Callender?
I doubt it, Max. Stony Bay does look the winner. He's at ridiculously short odds, particularly on the tote, but it's hard to see something beating him. Desert Chill is the Queensland Cup winner, or the Brisbane Cup winner, I should say. Just come in a touch to $31. Pretaris Bay, a stablemate of the favourite, also in a point to $10. Chuganoff is second favourite at $6.50. Nasabidi at $41. Noisy Pier at $51. Military Monarch is another roughie at $67. $1.30 for Stony Bay. That means if you put $1 on him, you get back $1.30. You put on $3, he wins, you get back $3.90. Fewer Chosen at $12 and Kinderita at $41. Malcolm, really it's hard not to tip Stony Bay. I don't fancy the price. I don't think I'll actually be putting money on him, but I'd have to tip him.
Mate, I won't be putting my hard-earned on him either, but I think he'll win. He's dead set weight for age performer, and he's the only weight for age performer in the race as far as I'm concerned. I think he'll lead all the way and lead him a very merry chase and win by about 5.
What do you mean hard-earned? You're a jockey, you got plenty.
Those days are gone, Deffy. It's hard. I've got a real job now.
Okay, and here's a man with plenty of cash. Whether he puts it on Stony Bay, I'm not sure. It's Simon O'Donnell.
Plenty of cash, Kenny. My hard-earned has gone right down the tubes, I can tell you. But I think I can get out in this one with Stony Bay. Look, very short price favourite, but the class animal in the field. For a little bit of value, 12 to 1, Fewer Chosen. The Gay Waterhouse, Quinella. Kim, what do you think?
Yes, well, it's easy to tip the favourite, I suppose, Simon, but I'm going to try and pick something else, and I'll go for number 2, which is Pretaris Bay.
Any reason why?
Well, because it's been working very well, and I think it's a pretty good horse.
Well, it's trained at Randwick and Kim's at Rose Hill. Long distance vision. To you, Kenny Sutcliffe.
But going well? How's it all going?
Yeah, it's Kenny Callender here, Simon, as the jockeys mount. And incidentally, Harry Troy, who's been our clerk of the course, has got to take a break in this race because Harry is riding TAB number 9, Kin Narita. Malcolm, just as they went past us, there certainly looked nothing wrong with either Stony Bay or either of his stablemates, Prataris Bay or Fewer Chosen.
Well, actually, for the Quinella punters, I think Fewer Chosen might be the one to run second. Prataris Bay looks fantastic, but, gee, you can't go past Stony Bay. He looks absolutely beautiful. He looks a winner, Kenny.
I'll have a small lottery ticket with you. I'll back Prataris Bay to run second.
All right, there you go. We'll have a very small lottery ticket, and I'm on Fewer Chosen. You got it.
OK, there's TAB number 9, Kin Narita, Harry Troy in the red and the grey. She ran third in the Queensland Oaks to Denise's Joy. But I just don't think she's racing well enough to trouble these horses at weight for age. TAB number 1 is Desert Chill, taped on the front legs, Mel.
Yeah, taped on the front legs. He looks all right. He's got bandages on the front legs, actually. He looks really nice, but, gee, they're going to... The more I look at it, Kenny, they're really going to be struggling chasing this horse, Stony Bay.
Yeah, he'll go to the front, and I reckon you'll find Shane Dye stays off the rail in the straight. A very astute horseman, Shane. He'll see that horses are coming down the middle a bit today, and that's where he'll stay. There's number 6 going past Military Monarch. Stony Bay will be the next one along. He's with the clerk of the course who's settling him down. There they are now in the red, white and blue colours. He's followed along by his stablemate Fewer Chosen, and the next along bringing up the rear will be Kin Narita. There's a close-up of the favourite, Stony Bay. You certainly couldn't fault him on appearance. He looks the part.
He certainly does look the part, Ken, and I Gay's on a roll at the moment, so how can you go past her horses?
I'm the mug that was tipping against them earlier. I think we should join the club, Mel, and start backing the G Waterhouse runners.
I think so. She looks the winner, this horse, her runner in this race, and she's going to be faring him really hard to beat in the Epsom as well with the chances she's got in it.
That's right. I've got to give this race a spell and get ready to put my money on Sprint By. But horses are ready to go out now, and they'll be let out by the Brisbane Cup winner, Desert Chill, who's coming to hand nicely. I think his ultimate aim this carnival or this spring is the Melbourne Cup.
One thing about Billy Smile, I'm not sure whether that's Archery's last win or because he's on Stony Bay in this race.
Billy, incidentally, is Shane Dye. All the boys, I think Malcolm actually nicknamed him after the rock star, Billy Idol. Is that right, Mel?
Yeah, I did, Ken. He turned up to the races one day in a white leather suit with his bleached blonde hair, and Billy Idol was on the TV singing some song, and as he walked through the doors made a bit of a clang, and in walked this bloke with a white leather suit on. It was Shane. I tagged him. There's Billy Idol there, so it's just stuck. It's been one of those tags that have stuck.
Yeah, I never hear anyone call him Shane these days. It's always Billy, and somehow or other it seems to suit him.
It does suit him, not that he's a show pony or anything, but it does suit him.
I tell you one thing, he's a damn good rider.
He's one of the best this country's ever seen. I've got a lot of respect for him. Sure, he can throw in a bad one every now and then, but most of the times he puts them where they can win, and he's a great thinker in a race. He's a very, very good horseman, and he does a lot of work off the track, which makes him such a great talent.
If you never try anything different, you'll probably never do anything wrong, but you won't ride a lot of winners either.
That's exactly right. At least he makes a decision. The guy who goes out there and sits back and wants to dwell on it and think about it, they always run second. At least Billy makes a decision. Whether it's the right one or the wrong one, he'll face that after the race, but he does make a decision.
Okay, as the bugler, or the trumpeter, I should say, blows the horses onto the track, if that's the correct term, we see Desert Chill coming down the straight. I think it's an opportune time for us to take another break before we come back to see the running of the weight for age Craven Plate. That was action earlier today here at Randwick as we pan across to the start at the 2,000 metre starting point for the time-honoured Craven Plate. Many of the great champions of Australia have run and won this race, horses like Farlap and Tulloch And, well, this year's offering mightn't be quite of that class, but I think you'll find that Stony Bay is a very, very, very good horse. And he's eased a little bit on the tote if you intend to back him there, now showing at $1.50. Desert Chill is at $26, Prataris Bay at $8.50, Chuganoff at $6, Nasabidi $41, the same price Noisy Pier, Military Monarch is into $61, Stony Bay, as I glance across, still $1.50 the win. That means if you put on $1, you get back $1.50. Fewer Chosen at $10, Kin Narita at $34. Okay, as I look over there at the start, they're still milling there. They haven't started to go in at the barrier. As I said, Harry Troy, our clerk of the course for the day, has a ride in this race. Harry is riding Kin Narita, one of the roughies. There's Chuganoff there, TAB number 3, was to have run in the Epsom for Darren Beedman, but was the first emergency and didn't get a run. So he's now running in this race, the Craven Plate. TAB number 9 is Kin Narita. That's the horse Harry Troy is riding. Harry's a very, very good rider. Doesn't come to town all that often. Does most of his racing on the country circuit. Kin Narita has won 6 of her 18 starts, but not quite in this type of company. This start is near Allison Road over, as you can see in the background there, near the Racecourse Hotel. Many a drinking spot for many Randwick regulars. Well, Simon O'Donnell, have you put any money on there? He is there, Stony Bay.
Oh, a little bit too short for me, Ken, but look, he's the class horse of the race, I think, and the only thing I think that goes against him is probably what we're looking at with horses coming down the outside today and winning the races. So is there anything good enough to run over the top of him?
Well, I think Shane Dye will be smart enough to get off the rail in the straight to, he won't be taking any cutaway today, I don't think, and let's hope he doesn't for those who have backed him.
Yeah, I suppose so, but that's the horse that really took my eye. I thought Few was chosen, couldn't look any better, and I've had a little each way bet on it.
Well, I've had a Quinella with Prataris Bay. The man you don't need a Quinella with, he's always a straight-out winner, is John Tapp. Here he is.
Good, Ken, thank you. Yes, the Group 3 Craven Plate. Gee, it's an old race. It was first run here at Randwick in 1867. And as Ken said, has been won by some of the greats, Gloaming and Windbag, just to name a couple. Line's taking good shape, and Noisy Pier, Wayne Harris, you heard Shane Dye say earlier, had been in the sauna here in the jockey's room for quite a while before the race. Poor old Wayne has to live in the sauna. Now Noisy Pier goes up. And they're ready for dispatch in the Craven Plate. Starter Billy Cooper hits the button, they're away. Noisy Pier is allowed to amble out of the gate, and Prataris Bay seemed to balk at the first 50 metres and goes back to the tail of the field. Stony Bay bounded out in front of Few Are Chosen, and Military Monarch is out deep on settling down. Oh, the rider of Nasabidi, that horse knuckled over. Nasabidi's jockey was hanging around the horse's neck for about 40 or 50 metres, Shane Scriven, and he got back on board by a freak of nature. That was a Cossack stunt. To the back, and Stony Bay led in the Craven Plate over Churnganoff, followed by Kin Narita. Military Monarch on the outside, and then Few Are Chosen. Nasabidi is back in the race again, and Shane Scriven by a freak of nature is back on board. 2 lengths to Noisy Pier, and Desert Chill and Prataris Bay are back at the tail of the field. Stony Bay pulling a bit in front, led by more than a length to Churnganoff, keeping in close attendance. Kin Narita third, Military Monarch fourth on the outside and travelling 3 deep. Then Few Are Chosen on the outside of Nasabidi, followed by Noisy Pier, Prataris Bay, and a half length away on the outside, the Brisbane Cup winner Desert Chill. Stony Bay in his favourite role by a length or a bit under now to Churnganoff. In third place on the rails, Kin Narita, followed by Military Monarch. Few Are Chosen about 4 off the lead on the outside of Nasabidi. Desert Chill is about to take off around the field, followed by Noisy Pier and Prataris Bay last, but only 8 lengths off the lead. 700 out in the Craven Plate. Stony Bay the leader. He got away now from Churnganoff. In fact, he got away from him quickly. Stony Bay's about 2.5 in front as they come around the turn, and Dye goes for the doctor. In third place, Flat Chat, is Desert Chill right around the outside, followed by Nasabidi, and then Kin Narita, Military Monarch, and Few Are Chosen, giving them too much start. Over the rise, and it is all Stony Bay. Stony Bay's about 4 in front of Churnganoff, followed by Desert Chill and Nasabidi, but Stony Bay is a mile in front past the 200. Desert Chill running into second place, followed wide out by Prataris Bay, but Stony Bay, he will not raise a sweat in winning the Craven Plate. His stablemate Prataris Bay getting home very well in the last bit, but Stony Bay wins with plenty of petrol in the tank. Prataris Bay second, Desert Chill third, then Few Are Chosen, followed by Noisy Pier, Kin Narita, Nasabidi, Churnganoff, and last Military Monarch. Well, Shane's not going to take the 5%, surely. Strike me pink, Daffy Duck would have won on that. Stony Bay, number 7, pays $1.60 and $1.04. Number 2, Protara's Bay, $1.80, and number 1, Desert Chill, third, pays $3.70. That's a... Ken, tell me a better way to cop $102,000 on a Saturday afternoon.
I think the most significant thing, John, was that he stayed out in the middle of the track. It's a crying shame that it's come to this, but over in the cutaway section, well, it's not worth a caser. You've got to stay out in the middle. That's where Shane did on Stony Bay. That's where Protara's Bay and Desert Chill finished on. And those over on the rails, well, it was like being in quicksand. And I pity anyone who, like we did, backed a few things earlier in the day, who were over there. The winner, Stony Bay, clear-cut favourite for the Metropolitan on Monday. Look at him stride out. Yeah, good stay of this fellow. Beat Jern twice on his merits in the autumn, and I think he's going better now than he was then when he won the Ranvet and the BMW at Weight for Age. That was the Craven Plate. He's got top weight in the Metropolitan on Monday, and that's 2,600 metres. But the way he's going, the extra 600 metres will be in his favour, and he'll give them something to catch again on Monday. I think it's only in the straight you've got to stay out deep. That seems to be the pattern. Shane knew that. He comes straight out to the middle of the track. You can see there's a hell of a lot of room between he and the inside rail. And, well, with the cutaway rail accentuating that, it's really become a little bit of a farce that horses have got a track there without any guide out in the middle of the track. And he's gone on to win very clearly from the stablemate Protara's Bay. Let's go back to the start of the race, or shortly after the start, where Shane Scriven, now you watch him, he's running about 5th on the rails, a third of the rails runners running 5th in the race, 5th or 6th. You watch him, see him go down, crash bang, look, that jockey's got to fall off. What a piece of horsemanship. Look, in my opinion, he is the best jockey in Australia. Doesn't get a lot of rides because of his weight, but what a horseman he is. See how he held on there? Shane Scriven, you're a very, very clever horseman, a natural. And they're coming back to scale, another winner for the Gay Waterhouse team. Only Group 3 this time, but there's another Group 1 race coming up in a minute, the Epsom Handicap. The official margin was 2 lengths, but Stony Bay wasn't punished, and the third horse, Desert Chill, was a length and a quarter away third. If you took the Quinella as I did, you get back $4.20 for each dollar. That was handy, the way I've been going today. Okay, Shane Dye dismounts. Tom Barker, the stable foreman, helps him there, holds the saddle, while Shane undoes the girth strap. They'll be off and gone in a minute, and we're off and gone too at the moment. We're taking a break before we come back with more on Epsom Handicap Day 1995.
Time-honoured Craven Plate, $102,000 at stake here. Stony Bay led from start to finish. Shane Dye, the man they call Billy Idol, doing what he does best. Hands and heels. Daylight second, a long way back. Protara's Bay. Gay Waterhouse getting the Quinella 1-2. A fantastic day for Shane Dye. He won the Spring Champion Stakes, and there he is, taking it past the post. A magnificent ride indeed. He really is poetry in motion. Never really put up a sweat. Fantastic ride. The favourite, Stony Bay, paying $1.60 and $1.04. Protara's Bay, $1.80. And in third place, number 1, Desert Chill, $3.70, Ken.
With the Epsom coming up and the way she's going today, there's no doubt Tommy Smith's daughter is the lady to watch.
Mrs. Racing.
$5,000 would make a nice little kitty for any punter, and it could be yours in our Memorable Moments giveaway.
Yes, and kicking off today's list is...
Another Gay Waterhouse triumph. There's so many of them these days, and done so very well in the short period as a top flight trainer. There she is with Stony Bay, and boy oh boy, isn't she good for racing. Ridden by Shane Dye, the winner of the last race here at Randwick. It's about 20 minutes before they're due to jump in the 1995 Epsom Handicap.
And plenty of money changing hands too right here on course. Ken Callender has been following the action. Kenny, what's happening?
I've got to get some more of that money back that I've been losing, Maxie, but I think I'll do it here with Sprint By. Here we go. Number 1 Pharaoh at $34. Dane Win Jackie Che from Hong Kong is the jockey, $10 exactly. Star Dancer $15, Taradu $6, Mr Marconi $17. Might save on him, the New Zealander. He's drawn the outside of the field, but that's not such a disadvantage now, the way this racing's going. Sprint by $7, Seaskay $16, Cohort at $21, Denarani $13, Auntie Mary $11, My Diamond Rouge is a roughie at $61, Juggler is at $8.50, Rembetica at 100 to 1, Hedge 14 to 1 or $15, Jamia a roughie 100 to 1, Nick's Joy in the market at $17, Persian Flyer, another of the Gay Waterhouse team at $21, Salivate, Mick Dittman, Lisa Cropp's riding her, sorry, at $26, Mick of course is on Taradu, bad mistake Ken. Final Tempo at 200 to 1 or $201, and Vital Consent at $61. Chuganoff and Brawago are both scratched. Well, Malcolm and I, we're in the Mutual Admiration Society here. We're both going to back for Sprint by.
Yeah, I think Sprint. I'm looking for the horse that can take up some sort of a spot, Ken, just behind him and stay out of trouble. And for mine, he's the horse I keep coming back to, Sprint by. Taradu, sure going to be flying home at the finish, same as Juggler, but they just might get a little bit too far out of their ground. They might be just giving him too much start at the top of the rise.
I picture him sprinting away at the top of the rise.
So do I, exactly. And if he has a trouble-free run, and that's what Epsoms are all about, is being able to get into a spot, stay out of trouble, bit of a rest, and then accelerate. And he's the horse that has got fantastic credentials to do that.
From a man who's ridden 3 Epsom winners, this man has ridden no Epsom winners, but he's sitting with a very, very good sort at Simon O'Donnell and Kim Moore.
Thanks, Ken. Well, the famous Randwick Mile, 1,600 metres, and at the end of it, some lucky owner will pick up a big cheque and a big cup. But it is a fantastic race, a handicap race, renowned all over the world, and to tell us the winner of it, Kim Moore, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to back Sprint by in this because he won very easy last start, and I think he's a real classy horse. And also Gay Waterhouse trains him, and I think I'll have a Quinella with Taradu.
Well, Ken, I reckon the women are ganging up against us, but I'm going to go for a woman in this as well. Auntie Mary, I think the track bias here this afternoon will suit her down the ground. She'll come flying down the outside as they get up the top of the hill here in Randwick. I reckon she can do it. Back to you, Kenny.
I'm convinced that Simon's got an Auntie Mary. I'll have to check with him. OK, well, certainly Auntie Mary's in the next race, but the lady of the moment at Randwick today's name's not Mary, of course. It's Gay. She's already got two big race winners up, and there might be more to come. She's with Michael Maher at the moment.
I have Gay Waterhouse with me. Gay, is this a difficult race to win this Epsom?
Any Group 1 race is a difficult race to win, and particularly this metric mile. It's run at blistering pace. It'll be very, very fast run race, probably the fastest run race of any race today. Of my 4 runners, let's start with Sprint By. He's got an outstanding chance. He's the class horse in this race from my stable. Juggler's got a brilliant turn of foot, and when he explodes, boy, should the punters look out, especially with their money, they should have it straight on him. Persian Flyer's the lightweight chance in the race, and ridden by brilliant jockey Shane Dye, Group 1 winning Shane Dye. And then, of course, you've got Pharaoh, who's won 2 Doncasters on this course over this distance.
This is all confusing, but who's going to win?
Well, you never know who's going to win before the race, but I'm hoping any one of them, and probably slightly prefer Sprint By.
Okay, good luck to you, Gay.
Thank you.
Righto, that was Mrs. Racing herself, Gay Waterhouse, and I've said it many times, but what an asset she is to the game. Righto, Malcolm Johnson's with me now as we watch these horses parade before the Epsom. We'll be very interested to have a look at Sprint By. Mel, for those looking at saddlecloths, he's TAB number 6. Mel, just about this stage, there's Sprint By. Look okay to you?
He looks absolutely magnificent, Ken. He's an absolute picture of health, and it's a credit to Gay. Her horses look fantastic. He looks beautiful. This horse coming past looks good too. He's a good horse, Dane Win.
Yeah, Dane Win's a magnificent beast. At this stage, Mel, the jockeys will be just getting a little bit toey.
Well, strangely enough, when the horses first come in, I was looking at a few of the jocks, and they're tapping their whip and playing with their fingers, and it's just a typical sort of a routine you go through. These big race days, this is an ultimate race for a jockey, an Epsom, and they're all a little bit on edge. You can see a lot of the old hands, like Mick doesn't seem to be worried too much, but a few of the younger blokes, I was just watching them. There's a few butterflies, you can say, prior to this big race.
I don't think you get Mick to jump if you let a bomb off or a hand grenade beside him.
I don't. The only way Mick will jump is if he dashes about 3 in front at the furlong on Taradu. He'll be happy then.
Well, there's TAB number 20 coming into view. Of pretty good mare, Vital Consent, to be ridden by a promising young jockey in Len Beasley.
Yeah, very nice mare actually. has got a few credentials for this race, but whether she's up to the class or not, Ken, that's a different story. This race is won by a class runner, the horse that can have a little bit of luck. I can't see her being up to the good horses at this stage.
I agree with that. There's the top weight, Pharaoh. He's won a couple of big Randwick miles, but really to show his best, I think he needs a bit of rain around.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with him the other day, Pharaoh. I thought he'd run a real tough race last week, but this is his race. He loves the hard Randwick mile, but again, if the sting was out of the track, maybe we'd be looking for him to win the race, Ken.
I heard Tommy Smith say in a radio interview this morning that age does start to get to you, and perhaps that's Pharaoh's problem.
Well, it's never got to Tommy.
Very good answer, Malcolm. Pharaoh will be followed along by number 2, Dane Win. He's a magnificent beast. He's trained by Bobby Thompson. There he is. Always looks a treat. A credit to his trainer. He's just walking past us now, and he'll be ridden by the Hong Kong jockey, Jackie Che.
Yeah, well, he's a lovely horse. Actually, the barriers of the way this track is today, Ken, these outside barriers might not be such a disadvantage, because you've noticed certainly that most of the winners are coming down the centre of the track. He's a great horse, this horse, Dane Win, and it does take a good horse to win this sort of race. He just might be the one to be knocking on the door there at the furlong. He's not going to be that far away from him today, and he looks beautiful.
Yeah, he's at 8 or 9 to 1, $9.60 as I look over at the tote now, which sure is pretty good odds about a pretty good horse. Salivate is the grey.
Yeah, Salivate I think's outclassed. He'll give him a fair bit of a start, but whether he can run it home over the top of these good horses, yet to be seen. I just don't think he's up to the real top bracket yet.
I don't want to argue with any of those things you've said so far. Number 3 is Star Dancer from New Zealand. I thought he was a little disappointing here last week.
Yeah, Star Dancer, one thing he will appreciate is the dry track. He's absolute duffer in the wet, but you know, on his day, he can just about win anything, this horse, but he's a little bit inconsistent for mine.
I haven't seen him look better. That run last week has obviously topped him off. He looks a treat, nicely muscled, his coat shining, he looks well.
Yeah, he does look well, I'll grant you that.
Okay, let's look along the parade a bit, and there's TAB number 5, which is Mr. Marconi from New Zealand. Raced it 10 times for 8 wins in a second, so it's hard to fault his form.
Yeah, he's got great form. He's certainly come over here with good form, and he might be a little bit of a dark horse in the race. Larry Cassidy's down to ride him. Very good big race rider, so, you know, you might be on the right track saving on him, Ken.
Yeah, I just think that his form's pretty good. Drawn out in 22 now, mightn't be as bad as it seemed. When he come over here for the Doncaster, that was his only unplaced run. He was at the end of his preparation. Now he's at his peak. There's Sprint By. We can't fault him, Mel.
No, he's got a great look about him. He's walking around, he's relaxed. He looks absolutely beautiful. I can't go past him in the birdcage, Ken.
I don't think it's coincidental that he's only had 2 runs in. I think he races well early in the preparation. I think Gay's just kept him that little bit fresh. She's given him enough. He won a 1,500 metre last start after a first up run at 1,400. He's ready for it.
My word, he's ready for it.
Here come the jocks, Mel, or we just had them on screen. They're coming out into the enclosure now, and it won't be long before they're mounting. And, well, are they more nervous now or when it's about to jump?
I think they're more nervous now, Ken. This is the hype leading up to it. This is an ultimate for a jockey to ride in a Group 1 race like this, the Epsom Handicap. It's a super race, and you can tell just looking at them now, this is the real tense time. Once they get out there, they're on their own, relaxed on the way to the barrier. They'll settle down. By the time the barrier goes up, it'll just be like another race to them. That's how I used to treat it, and I think pretty sure that's how these guys will be treating it.
What about confidence boosting, Mel? Do you try and con yourself a bit that your horse has got a terrific chance that you're going to win?
Oh, yeah, my word, you do. And one thing leading into a race like that, winners breed confidence. So Shane Dye is going out there on a real high at the moment. If you're having a good trot, things happen to fall into place. But really, I think the jocks at the moment, all of them would have even Mick probably a few butterflies at the moment, because this is the whole build-up. Once they're out there, they'll just treat it like another race.
There's the Aubrey mare, Auntie Mary, Simon O'Donnell's pick. I haven't checked with him yet, but I'm sure he has an Auntie Mary.
I think Simon O'Donnell's got a serious problem, but I don't want to say too much about that. Auntie Mary, she runs good in these races. The mile at Randwick might suit her. She will get home in the race really good, but whether she can, I keep coming back to that class factor. You know, she's a very, very good mare, runs good in these races, probably got a rough hope.
Yeah, well, they've all probably got a chance. It's hard to pick these big Randwick miles. Malcolm rode some, there were 3 of the winners of the Epsom. Imposing, he won an Epsom, Mel, didn't he?
Yeah, he won an Epsom, but he was a sensational horse. He's a horse very similar to Sprint By,
That's
actually.
what I was just going to bring that to mind. He was a horse that could hold up and sprint very quickly, and I think that's the closest I could comparison I could make to Sprint By.
Yeah, well, when I rode Imposing, he drew about 10 alley, and I was camped back off the